know the end. Two blondes are out to lunch. The first blonde says, the second blonde, you got something on your cheek.
I got my dick out.
She's not
And I'm thinking about you. And I'm thinking about you. I'm smoking pot. I got my dick out. And I'm thinking about you. Just you.
I'm smoking pot. I got my dick out. And I'm thinking about you. Thinking about you.
I'm driving along. I'm singing a song. And I got my dick out. And I'm thinking about you. I drank a six-pack. I took my pants off. Oh, I love you. I love you.
I'm smoking pot.
And here we go. Hey, folks, there we go. It's 8 o'clock on Monday, and it's June the 8th, in the middle of the pandemic, and we're still doing dick jokes, and it's all fun. And by the way, I don't know about you guys. I'm sitting in a bunker here. I'm in a bunker, and it's kind of a green screen bunker full of lights and not much else, but lots of electronics. This is so much fun, and we're here today with, once again, doing Stump the Joke Men. My name is John Peasy. I am so happy to be here, and I'm about to bring up my favorite guy around town, the one-man, I want to say the one-man joke man, because he is the joke man. It's Jackie, the joke man, Martling, and he's here today. Welcome him up. Come on, here he goes.
Everybody get up.
Hey, there you go.
Mr. Peasy,
how are you?
The music introducing us goes fast, it goes slow, it goes fast. I sound like my old rock and roll band.
Does it really? I don't hear it. It sounds so fine down here. Maybe it's coming in on your end that way.
You know what? I'm in Bayville. As far as I know, the signal's getting here by a donkey or a barrel, so I don't know.
How are you? What's going on in your life today in lovely Long Island?
You know, same old thing. I did a very funny, filthy call with David Feldman. You know, I start off all my calls with Feldman with the old sick jokes from the 50s. And the one I told him today was, Mommy, I don't want to learn how to swim. Shut up and get back in the bag. You know, one of those stupid jokes from forever ago. And it's so much fun. But today, I got a new thing on the line.
What's going on?
You know what, I just won't tell you where it is, but it's like a thing. It's going to be like one joke at 4:20. You know, not 3 jokes or 20 jokes. It just on the radio, one joke with my. You know, so many people say they miss my stupid laugh. So me giggling and telling one bad joke and then laughing. You know, the thing being, I told the guy, if people hear, like if you went to see Rodney Dangerfield, you'd say, I want to walk out of there and tell every joke he said. And you wind up with none because they all fall out of off your plate. But if you know somebody's going to tell one stupid joke, you can hear the joke and know that's all you're going to hear and remember it and repeat it. And I think it might be foolproof. And God, if I could get that syndicated around, like, you know, it could be the joke that people hate every day at 4:20 p.m., you know.
And this is on Twitter at 4:20.
Well, I still do that, but I'm talking about an audio joke that might also be a video joke on the radio station's websites or whatever. And I'm trying to hook us up with a gig out in Las Vegas. Imagine if we got to share a bill out in Vegas, how much fun we'd have. Oh, man.
That would be that. First of all, we have worked together several times, and it's always like it's two strong, banging, hard acts. It's really a amazing show to put together. Matter of fact,
I love it. And it could be short, and then Stump the Joke Man at the end, and just sitting around. You know, we get very mixed reviews. I wish the people that are listening or watching or whatever you call it would email us or just let us know, because some people are like, I hate when those guys start telling those stupid stories about show business, and other people are like,
I know.
My favorite thing is when they tell the show business stories, and you can't get a beat on whether it's 2010 or 90-30 or one person for, and sometimes there's one person against stuff who's so much louder than the 100 that love you, so.
But getting a beat, there's no such thing as getting a beat at any of this stuff anymore, because it's all the people that are watching. Some people are just comics and they just love hearing the road stories, because comics, we love hearing what other comics have gone through. And as other just general people that just love humor, want to hear dick jokes. Some people like clean joke. You know that old saying, once we try to please everyone, it's never going to happen.
You know who actually said that?
No.
I learned a quote from Bill Cosby like 50 years ago, said, I don't know the secret to success, but I know the sure road to failure is to try and please everybody. And that was good for the first 7 or 8 girls that he molested. But after that,
it's all over. So somebody in the comments did say, Jackie, that you do sound a little bit low. So the closer that you move, the more louder you will be, because you're working straight off of that. And guess who's here tonight? A whole bunch of people are here tonight. There's a lot of people watching already, over 30 or so right now. And they're coming in more and more and more. And I have a couple of people that wanted to pop in. I guess we get it started. Are you going to plug in? Okay.
Hold on.
While you're doing that, I'm going to bring in. Take your time. While you're doing that, you're playing.
Ask our friends out there if that sounds any.
There you go. All right, there you go. Johnny Preto, is he louder or lower?
Does that sound better?
Sounds good to me.
Does that sound better to him?
I don't know. I'm waiting to get to the comments. I get them a little on delay, though. See, now Mina Levy from Florida just said she said, I like all jokes. Look at Mina's in a she's showing skin in that thing.
Well, Mina, I like all sex.
There you go. Speaking of which, I thought this was funny something today. Heather
wait, John.
Hit me.
We got a girl with her breasts out who's asking for jokes. I'm going to tell her a joke.
I'm ready. And Ian Carr, please come in at your leisure.
So there's a big shipwreck. So the entire crew, there's like 12 people in a rowboat, in a lifeboat. Got no food, no water. They've been in there for a week. They're starving. They don't know what they're going to do. And the captain says, okay, men, I guess it comes down to me. I'm going to kill myself so you guys can eat my body. And he takes his revolver and lifts it up. And one of the guys in the crew says, no, Captain, don't do it. Captain says, why? He goes, don't shoot yourself in the head. Brains are my favorite dish.
I never heard that one. That's a great one. That's a killer.
That was for Mina.
My Mina joke is going to be a little bit different. It has to do with the exact same thing that we're talking about over here. So this girl, Heather, has a Facebook page with just 50 friends. She just started the page, right? A week later, she has over 500 more new friends. What does that mean? 50 in the beginning, 500 a week later. What does it mean about this wonderful woman, Heather?
She can't spell or she can't count.
No, she's got big tits.
Very good. Of course.
By the way, the first person that popped in here, and guess who's here? This is so great. And by the way, there's always the stoic Joey, Charlie Fisher, stoic Charlie Fisher.
Well, I'm calling her Shirley for now. Shirley Fisher.
I have a bunch of people here. First of all, here is the lovely Ian Carr.
Ian of McKeon fame.
What's up, Jackie boy? What's up,
baby?
He's got good sound, that guy. He's got good sound. You should.
He's a producer guy,
He should. You really should. And also, a bunch of people want to say hello, by the way. This is Lisa Floyd. She was here last week, Lisa. Hi, Lisa.
Oh, Hi, how are you guys?
We're all
she's very cute. She's very cute. I remember her.
She
said
singer.
She knew us from East Lansing or something like that, or from East Meadow or something. I don't know.
She came back anyway.
Mr. Rips.
Mr. Rips. Oh, man.
You needed
Valley
the
Cottage, New
shorts.
York.
You needed the shorts at the Nyack Motor Lodge.
Wow.
Wow.
Long time ago. Lisa, do you have any good jokes? We're waiting.
I do. And
wait.
I wrote you guys a song. And
Wow.
I have a joke. I wrote a song for you, and I wrote a joke for you.
Hook us up. We're ready.
Okay. Are you ready for the joke?
We're waiting patiently.
Okay. So here it is. So Sal's at the clubhouse. It's his 95th birthday, and all the people at the condo association want to know, what are we going to get Sal for his birthday? He's going to be 95. We got to get something good. Florence says, I know. Let's get him a hooker. He'll be so surprised. He won't even know. So the birthday arrives. Knock on the door. Sal opens it. Says, who are you? She says, I'm here to give you super sex. So Sal says,
I'll take the soup.
I'll take the soup.
It's a great joke. Not Stump. I think she should still get a prize. What do you think, Jackie? I'll give
Yes,
her.
Hold
I'll
on,
tell you
Lisa.
my version.
Do you have your own puppet now? Really?
Her own puppet.
Let's
Let's
see your act.
I thought that was her right breast.
Yeah, it is. It's. I bet you want to pet it.
Jeez, duh.
Wait, she's got 3 puppets. Hold on.
I hope it's not
Very
shaved.
nice.
So, so you're a ventriloquist. Do you do ventriloquism?
Sure. Hey, how you doing?
I like how the puppet covered her mouth.
What about what? Yeah, that's perfect. All she needs is a mask. What about the song, Lisa? What'd you come up with the song? You said, yeah.
Well, I wrote you a song. I wrote a song, and it's a pretty quick ditty. I hope you like it. I have it right
Jackie
here.
likes ditties.
I
Did she
wasn't
say a
swearing
quick
or anything.
ditzy?
Diddy.
Well,
Ditty.
that too.
Ditty.
A
All
little
right.
quick ditty. Okay, you ready?
We're ready. And while we're waiting,
Son,
there's
hey,
the stoic Joey.
look at my tag
Kelly
to it.
Fisher.
Joey Fisher.
Joey Fisher.
Shirley Fisher.
Okay, are we ready to roll?
We're hooked. We're hooked and waiting. Go ahead.
You hear me?
Mhm.
I don't know what all this fuss is about. House has never been cleaner. My laundry's falling out. Work's overrated. I'm looking my best. I think it's great. Getting all of this rest. Something about working with no alarm. If you say that I'm crazy, I'll turn that shit on. My dog is so happy to have me at home. He might be confused, now he don't chew his bone. Kinda cool, I love my new career. And if my old boss calls, I'll say kiss my rear. And pity and modding, you know, are a blast. And there's no censors, shit, fuck this cock ass. And I with COVID-19. You know what I mean? I think it's king.
I love it. I give it one of these. I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love
Got a
it.
beat. I can dance to it.
Crosby, Stills, Nash, and disease.
It was excellent. Lisa, that was great. Please put your
I'll take the soup.
in Super Sex. Put your address in the IM, and I'm going to send you an Andy doll. And Jackie, you could go Jokeland at AOL, right?
We'll send her a.
That's awesome.
We'll send you a T-shirt. She never emailed me. I would have sent you a T-shirt.
Get it. Well, T-shirts in the mail, and I'll send her an Andy doll. Thank you, Lisa. That was great. And please,
I have to email you.
Bravo.
Thank
Bravo.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
Bravo. There you go. I love it. Hey, thank you
I
for coming
love you
on.
guys.
Stay well.
Behave yourself.
Look at that. Look at that. People are writing us songs. That's like awesome.
Jesus. Yeah,
Jesus.
but what's even worse is they're singing them.
Jesus had nothing to do with it. That was so much fun. Also, I have here tonight, look at this, Johnny Preto. Now, I don't know if you guys are a good friend of mine. He's from Las Vegas. There it is. Hi, Johnny.
Lisa told me she had 17 more verses to go through, John.
She did great. She did wonderful.
All right, I got a quick one.
Well, I don't have to take a shit, but for this song, I'll pretend I do.
Yeah, nice. I got a quick one and out, Johnny.
Okay, but first I have to show you Charlie Fisher. Yeah, go ahead. Sure. We'll wait. Go ahead, Johnny.
That's the best part of the show right there.
We love it.
Okay, Jackie, I go to this bar for happy hour, right?
Yeah.
One of these bars, they have at the food and the dance floor, and people are dancing. My favorite song comes on, the Humpty Hump dance.
Dude,
right? And so I'm wanting to dance. I'm looking around the bar, and I see this chick on the other side of the bar, and she's eyeballing me. I walk over there, and I'm screaming, "Would you like to dance?" And she shakes her head no. I said, "Oh, you misunderstood what I said. Your ass looks fat in those pants." She did the look around. That's it.
That's good. That's the old reverse.
Next is the Floyd jokes. I'm waiting for those.
No,
it's good. It's good. It's good, Jackie.
The best bar joke to me. The best bar joke of all time is the guy that goes up to the girl and he's a little drunk and he taps her on the shoulder and he says, "How about coming home and fucking me?" And she punches him in the face and he flies back ass overhead and falls on his ass. And he gets back up and he comes over to her and says, "I guess the blowjob's out of the question." That is just the best bar joke there ever was, I think. It's just like...
All right. Love the show. I'm out, Johnny. Send me back.
Preto, send him your email. Let him give you the t-shirt. You already know me.
All right, will do.
Yeah, Johnny, I'm coming out to South Point Hotel very soon. You ever go there?
Right by my house.
Perfect.
I'm coming out there. I just talked to Mike today.
All right, we'll come see you, Jack.
Buy this guy a steak dinner. He needs it.
All right, yeah.
He's withering.
Please,
Thank you, Preto.
please.
See you guys.
He's a good guy. That guy. He does a streaming company out in Las Vegas. Old streaming work. Total streaming. Johnny Preto, great guy. By the way, we also have here the guy from Canada, Daniel Miller.
Jesus Christ! I sent him 400 shirts.
He's got a. Everyone's got puppets.
Yeah, I got no jokes.
That's the whole point.
Yeah, just pop me in once in a while, like the other guy.
You want to be like the stoic Charlie Fisher.
That's it. Just a pop in guy.
Yeah, but Charlie Fisher, we make fun of him for something else besides being stoic.
You got to change it, Johnny. You got to change it to Shirley Fisher.
Shirley Fisher. I mean, when we think of Shirley Fisher, you know what we think of?
Oh,
You know, the idea that this Charlie Fisher thing is now going on 10 years or something like that. Jackie is legendary for keeping a joke going forever. Jackie, you got to tell the story about with Baba Booey and the email.
You know, I don't know if that translates. John,
It translates.
A million years ago, I don't know if it was a personal email or whether Gary was just emailing me about something for whatever reason. And instead of spelling the word make, M-A-K-E, he made a very simple mistake that I've made a zillion times, and we all have, and he typed it A-M-K-E instead of M-A-K-E. And for the last 40 years, it's been Amkey. And I would just fuck with him about it. And it made no sense. And I'd do it when we weren't on the air. And he'd say, "There's nobody listening. It's not funny now. It's plenty funny now." God, if he knew we're doing this right now, he'd just think, "Let's go stop."
It still goes. Well, Jackie, it's kind of like when we were in Rome. We went to a friend's wedding in Rome, and I'm at the Pantheon, and Jackie's there, and suddenly I hear Jackie like laughing hysterically. I turn around, and he's pointing at a fountain, and he says, "It looks like Baba Booey." And the fountain did look like Baba Booey, and I'm going to find it for you right now so you can see it.
Give us a look of that online. That'd be hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Trevi fountains right next to it.
So Daniel, you don't have even one quick joke. We need one good joke. That's the whole point here.
I haven't been focused on jokes all week, man. I've been looking at the latest riots and
the riots. Okay,
birds and cows. No jokes at all in my mind this week.
Now there's two ways to look at it. Either we should be laughing and being completely ridiculous, or else we should be serious and staring at the TV, And then I realized, look at all. I've never seen such a crowd in New York. And Barbara goes, no, that's Washington D.C. Oh, well, I never saw such a crowd. No, that's Portland. It's like the same fucking 3,000 people. I think they keep just changing towns,
Yeah, they're all going to give us the COVID. All of them, they're out getting nice and tight. Nobody's practicing distance over there.
Yeah, don't let me be the party pooper, though.
You're not a party pooper. Thank you.
It's a little late for that.
Next time we hit us up with the joke. That's what we want. We need those jokes here. Speaking of,
I'll tell you. Here's one. Tell me if you heard this one, PZ.
Sure.
So, a guy's got a trophy wife, and she says, "Buy me a car." Just come on. So they go to the dealership. And she's hot and young, blonde, big fake boobs, She's a little low cut. And the salesman's staring at her. And the guy says, "Hey, checking out my wife?" He says, "Well, she's very attractive." The guy says, "I'll tell you what. We'll go in your office, and if you can do everything that I can do, I'll pay double for a car. But if you can't, you give me a free car." And the salesman's like, "Well, fuck yeah." So they go in the sales guy's office. And the guy takes off his wife's blouse and unhooks her bra and sucks on one of her tits. Right. The sales guy pushes him out of the way and sucks on one of her tits. So then the husband lifts up her skirt, puts his hand down her panties and finger fucks her a little bit. And the sales guy pushes him out of the way and puts his hand down her pants and finger fucks a little bit. Then the husband takes out his dick and folds it in half. And the salesman says, "What color car you want?"
Good joke. Here's somebody trying to stump us into the thing. That's a beautiful classic joke. How come
they don't like any kind of witnesses?
Yeah, exactly. Also, Seth Gabriel's saying to us now. Seth is a great magician. I could join now. Heading off to eat dinner next. He's saying it earlier.
He's going to disappear.
He's going to disappear. He says, "What are you doing at the South Point? I performed there before. What do you plan on doing at the South Point?"
"We just took your job."
There you go. That's why you ain't there anymore.
You're out.
Also, we have here Tugboat Manny. He was here before. Hey, Tugboat Manny.
Hello. Holy shit, Manny! You gained weight.
He's in between meals.
Christ Almighty!
You're catching him on snack time. We have to make it. You got any jokes for us, Tugboat?
Yeah, I don't know if you know, but Joe Biden came out for the first time in over 2 months on Memorial Day.
True.
And even though it was a cloudy day, he still saw his own shadow, and he went back inside to his basement for another 6 weeks.
There better be more, Manny.
Yeah. I got another one.
Manny, you know what I just mailed you?
Yeah.
I just sent you a wok. You could use it to iron your shirts.
That is a big white shirt. You can see the way the back is concave. Yeah.
Holy Christ.
Did I share this one with you guys yet? I'm not sure. I was trying to
tell the last one again.
Oh, I said that
No!
What? Oh.
He's breaking your chops.
No, but the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, said that President Trump was morbidly obese. And then President Trump said that Nancy Pelosi is crazy and that she has mental health issues. Just imagine if they had a kid together. That kid would be me.
There better be more, Manny.
Oh my
Oh,
Tugboat Manny, prep for the show.
Oh,
he's
Wow.
writing these jokes, but you gotta give him his credit. He's writing his own material. He's doing the stuff. He's not just doing jokes. He's crafting his way slowly
Right.
through the game. It's not
And
an easy game.
and I got the other one I got was that day that President Trump was playing golf in Virginia, everybody got so upset. I don't know why. I mean, I think he would have a much better shot in the swing state.
There better be more, Manny.
I still love this guy. He's the best. And Jackie, you should send him a T-shirt. Well, actually, a box of T-shirts.
I
Go together.
sent him one already.
Yeah, he sent me a double X. I'm gonna have to give it to my kid when I have a kid.
The
It
newborn.
didn't fit you?
Jackie, I'm inside crying all day, gaining weight. I can't fit. Do you have a triple X, Jackie?
Why don't you just go outside and run away from your jokes?
I think you should send him a Klondike bar.
Yeah.
No,
Hey,
we love you.
You guys want to
There
hear?
better be more, Manny.
All right. Oh yeah.
Hey, Manny, the 2X really didn't fit. I really did used to have 3X, and I can't find one. But I don't need the 2X is really big, man.
Yeah, no, it's all right. But you know what? It just, when it just doesn't go over the belly flap. You know what I mean?
Unfortunately, yes. Hey,
Yeah.
John, did I? I'm sure Ian knows. Did I ever tell you how I wound up? Willie Nelson had a guy who was his road manager for 40 years. The guy died a couple of years ago, but he was so huge, and his beer belly was unbelievable. It was immense, and his name was Pootie. And I saw Willie 5 or 6 or 7 times, and he would. Some people have a small circle of friends, and Pootie was real tight with Willie, and to become part of that gang, the band and Pootie and them, it was like, nobody's invited. Nobody's invited. How the fuck am I going to get to be friends? And I went to Austin one time, and there's a place outside of Austin, and it's called Pootie's. And Pootie had a restaurant bar that was like, old and wooden, and it looked out on the valley, and it was, all the old mementos. It was fantastic. And one year, they built an immense deck that went around half the place, and it held 1 billion people, and it looked out over the valley, and it was just absolutely gorgeous. And so I called my guy who makes the T-shirts, the Something Joke Man T-shirts, and had him make 3 dozen. Pootie's got a big deck. Size extra large, double X, and 3X, because Pootie and all his friends were the size of a fucking house. And I sent him to Gator, Willie's bus driver, and he passed them out to everybody. And the next time I was there, Pootie was like, "All right, man, you're all right." And I got pictures of them. I took pictures of my family wearing the T-shirts, and they're like, it's like wearing a raincoat. They're so fucking huge. I'll send you. See, now I should have a picture of him to show you, and I don't have it right.
That's all right. If I could pull it up, I would have pulled it up though. But man, he's a good guy. He does do comedy in Long Island. He's working hard at his craft.
I'm just being rude, man. You're a great cat.
No, that's and I wanted to tell you because of Minervini, who is you guys' friends. I'm gonna open up for Minervini at the Comedy Cabana, July 9th to like 5 days or whatever, So all thanks to Richie,
That's great fun down there. Great fun, the Comedy Cabana.
Cool.
I've never been there.
Next week we need some good jokes.
Okay, I'm gonna try. I mean, this is brutal. Oh my god.
Well, the simple formula is they have to have an end.
They have to have an end. Yes, thank you. Ian, you're actually muted, Ian.
You're
There
right.
you go.
Well, that moment's passed.
That's right. You're passing gas. You got to mute it out. Hey, you know who else is here besides the stoic Charlie Fisher or Shirley Fisher?
Shirley Fisher.
Yeah, you know all about Shirley Fisher, right? We all know one thing about Shirley Fisher.
Oh, that's terrible.
So John,
That's-
I couldn't share my screen, but I did email you a picture of the Bowie fountain.
Oh, you did? Okay, I'll take a
Yeah,
look at
so
it
maybe
now.
you can share your screen because
I will pull it up. I'll pull it
it
up.
doesn't have a
Meanwhile,
way of doing it.
while
But
that's
it
going
is.
on, I have Colin here. Colin is.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey, Colin.
Hey, Jackie, it's good to see you, man. But I've had this horrible day. I was working all day, and then the doorbell rings. You go over, open the door. Fucking Jehovah's Witnesses, and these guys are really difficult. As you know, what are you going to do to get rid of these guys? So I looked them straight in the eye. And I said, the Dark Lord has foretold you're coming. It didn't fucking work. So what else am I going to do? And they started doing their little spiels, and well, can we come in and tell you about the wonders of Jesus? I looked them up and down, and it's husband and wife team, right? So I looked the husband up and down, looked the wife up and down. I said, she can come in. They left. It was great. They left. But then
there better be more, Manny.
There better be more.
It's so much worse though. I started getting these marketing calls again. I mean, when was the last time you got a call from AT&T wanting you to change your long distance service? It's ridiculous. I mean, well, do you want to change your long distance service, sir? Well, I don't know. Do you have that friends and family plan? Because I've always wanted a baby brother.
Oh
no, not so good.
Hey, I'll tell you.
All right. So Jackie, here's your opportunity. Upgrade the punchline, man.
I had a problem with Jehovah's Witnesses, and I came up with a surefire thing to make them stop coming to my house.
What's that, Jackie?
I joined.
We had some Jehovah's Witnesses in elementary school, and I remember we would get dressed up in costumes, go for elementary school, and on Halloween. And on Halloween, the Booty has a big deck. And on Halloween, the only kids in class, the Booty found, the only kids in class that didn't have a costume were the Jehovah's Witnesses. And I said, well, what's up with that? Like, what?
Is that a true story?
Yeah, there's a totally true story that they said, well, we don't believe in this pagan ritual. We think it's bad or whatever. And as I grew older, I realized, how ironic is it that the one day you're allowed to go up and ring people's doorbells?
That's great. Oh God, that's so
It is
funny. Oh, fucking Halloween.
That's great.
You know who likes Halloween the most is the pedophiles.
Why?
Why's that?
Free delivery.
Hey, Colin, that was
on the bright side, though. I did get a box from John today. My doorbell rang one more time, and I got this thing. And John still hasn't explained what it is. As far as I can tell, it's the most dangerous fucking pool noodle on the face of the earth.
That's the truth. It's a blinky wand. It's a child toy. It's a blinky wand. I gave it to you. I thought that you would really have a good time with that at your age.
Did you really send him that?
Yes, I did send him that. Yes, I did.
Yeah, I got it. No, it was great. I got a box of wonderful stuff from John. I was able to help him out with his streaming a little bit, and he sent me a box of great stuff. These are all jokes and tricks from my childhood. Remember the color changing scarf, which was like the first trick I ever bought at a magic shop.
I think I should have set you lighting. I can't see your face. You're pretty dark.
Yeah, well, I had this thing.
pretty dark.
We spent hours going over John's lighting, so I figured why should I lead by example?
Right. And Colin, look what Colin has done for me, and a friend of his as well. Look at this. I'm able to take my pictures and go like this. There's my close-up case. There's my close-up case with me in it when I do close-up magic. Here's one with Andy's eyes in the backdrop. Look at this. And then if I really want to get fun stuff, I could actually have like, hey, you want to have a little fun?
There you go.
Yeah. Now, where are you pulling? Are you pulling those from your
John?
I don't know if I want to claim that one, but
no, you don't want to claim that.
Where are you pulling those out of your computer? Or are they preloaded or?
It's a software switching system.
Switching, yeah. These are Colin and this guy Leland and Pareto. These are the guys that are actually the tech guys. They know everything and anything about this stuff. And when I have a problem, I go to them. When I have a dick joke I can't figure out, I come to you. When I want to talk about my large penis in front of someone with small penis, I bring on Charlie Fisher. This is the way where it rolls. Speaking of which, here is the picture that Ian was talking about, right there.
Who we found.
You know, it
Awesome.
actually wasn't me that yelled. It was my girlfriend at the time, Victoria. She screamed, and I really thought she hurt herself. And I ran over, and she was pointing at the thing, and I thought I was going to have a heart attack. And then Ian McKeon came running over, and we must have stood there and howled at that thing. And you can't see it, but what's crazy is Gary. We always called him Monkey, Mama Monkey. And if you look at that stupid gargoyle from the side, there is a monkey growing out of the back of his head. It's just not believable.
Actually, you're right. There is a monkey growing out of the side of its head. He's got that.
No, on the back. I mean, literally in the back. Oh God,
I see the eye.
I'll see if I can find it.
You got a mission to work on.
Jackie, do you have pictures of that on your phone?
I've loaded them into my Dropbox.
Ah, cool. And by the way, I think does Colin deserve a T-shirt, please? He's a huge fan of yours. Please.
Yeah,
Colin.
sure.
All right, Colin. So
thanks, man. Have a good one.
Yeah, you're all right. You're the best. Thank you, Colin. He's a good guy.
You find it?
How do I get this to John?
Just show it up. Just put it in front of the camera.
Nah, that doesn't work.
Not working. Doesn't have a really.
Yeah, I couldn't share my screen. Otherwise, I would have.
That's quite all right.
Had it for you.
I understand that your screen has a squeegee needed.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, guys, but I have like family over, and I got to leave in a few minutes. But
that's what you're doing here.
Yeah.
You got it, John. I texted it to you. Who's over? Tell everybody I said, hey, McCann.
I definitely will, and I'll be seeing you soon.
Today, I put Friedman in a joke today.
You did?
Yeah. I was doing.
Good.
I never got to it. It was a Feldman joke. What?
Friedman. I thought actually when you were going to tell the bar joke, the guy meets the girl at a bar. I thought you were going to tell the joke that Friedman the joke that Friedman ruined my three-way with.
What's the joke that Friedman? Now, what is this?
Actually, that was a different joke. So this is a long time ago. Okay, so I'm single, and we're at a bar in the city. It was called Bar Bat. You remember that place a long time ago?
For a while, Renato was doing his Monday nights there.
Oh, is that right?
His Monday night jam, yeah.
So I go in with my friend Friedman, and it is packed. I mean, wall to wall packed. Like you couldn't even. It was like one of these things. So we find our way to this room where there's a bar, and then suddenly I turn around and he's gone, like just into the crowd. Like I have no idea where he is. But I'm right up against this one girl, and I start talking her up, and she introduces me to her friend, and we start talking together, and we're pounding shots. And after a while, it comes out that the two of them are together, and there's like great chemistry going on, and so after a little while, we're like, hey, you want to get out of here? And we're like, yeah, sure, let's go. And now, remember, this is in the days before cell phones, so it's not like I could say, hey, I'm gonna be gone or whatever. So I just started to make my way towards the door. Now, Friedman had a way just always of just dropping a joke, the worst joke at the worst time. So I'm kind of hoping in the back of my mind that I don't see him as I'm walking out the door, because I love the guy. But so I'm with these two girls, and I'm thinking my luck can't be any better. And we start walking towards the door, and I'm maybe 20 feet away from the door with these two bisexual girls that are ready to have a night with me. And Friedman is waving frantically from the other side, Ian. And he pushes his way through the people, and I introduce him to the girls, and he says, you want to hear a joke? And I'm like, no. And he says, these two lesbians are fucking an alligator on a bus.
That was the end of your
night.
They
look at each other, and they're like, you want to go? And they're like, yeah, let's get out of here. And they left. And the fact that I'm still friends with that guy is more of a testament to our brotherhood than anything on earth.
That's funny. Funny as hell.
And the worst thing being is that he was just doing it to be outrageous because there's no such joke. It's like it's an old.
No,
It's a Buddy
it's
Hackett.
a Buddy Hackett thing. It's a Buddy Hackett setup. Buddy Hackett did a show, and he was picking on this woman who looked very prim and proper, didn't want to laugh, and he said, "I'm going to tell a joke that's you're going to love." And he told a couple of jokes to kind of sucker her in, the sandbagger, like very, very clean jokes. And then he told her, "Here's the best one." And he starts the joke with, "These two lesbians are fucking an alligator on a bus." And they cut to her face, and it's just, it was priceless. So for years I was like, David, you gotta come up with a punchline for that. You just can't leave it like that. I mean, you're not Buddy Hackett.
Yeah, there's many I heard him say it one time, maybe at the Fry's. Two nuns were blowing a dead alligator on a bus. It's like,
but at least that's funny.
Oh God, it's just classic.
Oh my God. I mean, the look on those girls, I never will forget that. Like, you have no idea what you just did.
And to look at your sheets at the end of the morning in that hotel room.
Oh.
That's horrible.
Freak me out, hippie.
So
all right, guys, listen, I gotta run, but love seeing you.
Ian, you're the best.
See you later, alligator.
Okay.
We're going to Vegas, Ian. Get that movie ready.
Yeah. I gotta go find an alligator.
There's Charlie.
Bye, Charlie.
Hey, Charlie's good. How are you? Are you all good?
We're good.
Okay, just checking, making sure.
Wow, Charlie's head is moving up in the screen, John.
It's good. It's all good. He's on a roll.
Hey, do you know the classic story? I'm sure you heard this a million times about Don Rickles, about the heckler that he had that came back at him so great.
I heard a couple of Rickles stories, but I don't know if it's the same one.
Where a woman was heckling him, and he said, finally he broke from his act and said, "Lady, how much do you charge to haunt a house?" And she yelled back, "How many rooms?"
Oh, wow. That's great.
And he was like, "You win, honey. Jesus Christ."
That's great.
Is that hysterical?
That's
I
great.
mean, I have no idea if it's true, but it very well could be true,
It's interesting, too. I was at a country club in Long Island doing a gig once, and they had told me they had, and this made me feel really, really good. They told me that they had previously, over the past few months, they had Rickles. This was like 10 years ago. And they paid him a ton of money to come in and do a Sunday afternoon for a women's club. It was, and these three elderly Jewish women that ran the whole entire women's organization at the country club in Long Island. And they said to them, "Listen, whatever you do, you could do whatever you want. Don't make fun of us. We're on the committee. We're the three people that hired you." So, of course, he goes up, and the first thing he did is he starts hitting on them. And the lady that hired him picked up a cup of coffee, walked over to him, and threw it at him.
I love it.
Threw it at him. And apparently, he wiped it off, did his act, took his cash, and left. He could care less. And when I heard that, it made me feel so good, because it made me think that, because I do put down interactive humor all the time. And then you start to think, well, if it could happen to Rickles, he could still get $50 grand and walk away and wipe it off and just do his act and go home.
Yeah, whatever. It's crazy. The worst thing that ever happened to me was not a heckle, but it might as well have been. And it's funny because it was one of the first time I was on stage as a comic, as opposed to a musician. I stopped me if I told you this already. And it was at Catch a Rising Star. I waited online. I got a number. I went on at like 2:00 in the morning, and I got to be friends with Rick Newman in later years. And he said, Jackie, I tell that story to everybody, especially when you got famous on the Stern Show. I say, yeah, well, let me tell you about this fucking guy. Because it was late. What happened was, if you have a number at Catch a Rising Star, unless you were really lucky, you get 10, 12, 14, whatever. But, it could be like 10:30. But then somebody like Lenny Schultz would come in and do 30 minutes. And then two more auditions come in. And then all of a sudden, Ed Bluestone would go on and do 25 minutes. So it was so random when you got to get. And the first time I got to go on, it was so late. There was almost nobody. I think the only people left in the crowd, there might have been more, was a four top right in front of me. And it was like a guy and his wife, and either their daughter and her boyfriend or their son and his girlfriend. But they were obviously people from out of town that had paid the minimum and the cover, and they were going to sit there and damn well ride it out. And I went up and started my act, and I didn't know my act. I had just taken a bunch of jokes and strung them together.
Wow.
And the whole thing was me and my wife did that, me and my wife did this, me and my wife did this. And the first thing out of my mouth was, me and my girlfriend. And I was like, holy shit. And forget about having the presence of mind to be able to switch everything from wife to girl. I mean, I don't know what I did. I just kind of stammered along for a couple minutes. And after a couple minutes, this fucking guy right in front of me says to his wife in a stage whisper, John, I can hear him. He said to his wife, how much can we take? And they got up and left. And like, I think it was a decade before I ever went near the stage. I mean, not this guy sucks, but like, how can we stop this excruciating? And I had to agree with him. I was fucking horrible.
But as a comic, we've all been there so many times, many times. And it's, I don't know about you, but watching another comic bomb to me is one of the greatest joys in my life. Even though I've bombed myself a million times, but because you have empathy and you feel that person's pain, and watching them up there trying to struggle along with the material is just hilarious. It's just,
have we talked about this on your show before?
I don't know.
Because I actually wrote a whole thing about. I think I actually used to do it in my act that there's no more exquisite pleasure for a comedian than watch another comic bomb. And I remember, like in the Fort Lauderdale comic strip, if Minervini's out there killing, nobody says anything. And if Glenn Hirsch is up there destroying the room, nobody says anything. And somebody comes and says, hey, John Heyman's laying an egg, the place would empty out to go just watch the guy suffer. And I've always maintained that when a comic is bombing on stage,
right,
there's a distinct rhythm to what goes on, because the guy says a line and then it's quiet, and then the other comics in the back roar to make sure the guy on stage knows that they know that the last line didn't get a laugh, and it was hysterical. And I was with Richard Jenny in not Susquehanna, what was Savannah, Georgia, little tiny comedy club. This is so long ago that I was headlining and Richard Jenny was the middle act. Okay. We're on the road for like 6 weeks together. The most fun we ever had. So Jenny is on stage in Savannah. There's like 30 people in the place, and he's talking about Jews. Now, if you go down to Savannah right now and talk about Jews, I'm sure they won't have any idea what you're talking about.
Right.
But if you go back 40 years, and here's this New Yorker up there in his New York accent talking about Jews, and I'm telling you, they had no idea what he was talking about. And I'm drunk, and I'm sitting in the back, but the back was not that far from the stage because it was a small room, and I'm screaming. I'm wetting my pants. He's bombing, and with his like this, with his hair was always like this, and he's pacing back and forth. There's a true story, John, and at some point, he just turned to the crowd and says, does anybody here know what a bagel is? And I swear to you, a guy in the corner goes, yeah, it's a hunting dog. And the guy, I swear the guy wasn't.
I believe
funny.
you, 40 years ago.
I went fucking nuts. And Jenny said he told the story, a couple times on the Tonight Show. I don't know. I never saw it. But it was so fun. Oh,
what a great comedian. Hey, I was thinking about that time. I had almost the same. I was doing a one-nighter for Linda Rowe in Connecticut at a fire department where they wanted 4 comedians to do an hour. And the comedian, and I wasn't headlining. They wanted me, which I remember thinking with a dirty ventriloquist dummy act, it was really dumb to have. And they had a clean act closing the show. And it's a mutual friend
which
of ours.
Makes no sense, right?
But that's the way. I was just the middle guy, and I only had to do a half hour, and I could do no wrong. Even laying down, I could do no wrong. I couldn't do wrong that night. It's a bunch of fire guys, And the comedian at the end, maybe I shouldn't bring up. He's from Connecticut. His name is Johnny. So Johnny's up there And
Johnny Rizzo.
oh fuck, I don't want to bring it up. I love Rizzo. So Johnny's.
I didn't say it was Johnny. Yeah, John. There's 1,000. Not only are there 1,000 Johnnies in Connecticut, there's 1,000 Johnny Rizzos in Connecticut.
Thank you
You
very
throw
much.
a frisbee, you hit Johnny Rizzo.
That's right.
Say it was John Schuler.
Thank you very much. There's John Schuler. There you go. And so I'm doing the one nighter. I do half hour. I can't do wrong. And Johnny goes up. Now the show is. This is not Johnny's fault. He's a great comic. He's been a 40-year comic. The problem was they wanted a 2-hour show, and they're firemen. They're drinking beer and eating, and and it's a big room, and everyone's getting worn, and it's done. It's over. It's done. So Johnny has to go up and do his 45 minutes, so he'll get paid and he had to pay us. And Johnny goes up and he does his gig, and he could not get a laugh that whole but he stayed the whole 45 minutes.
I know, because you got it. Because they're, whoever booked you is looking at, if you don't get to 11 o'clock, he's not giving you a check. That's just how they play. It's
And
not like they're bricks,
He pounded away. And I got to say, he did his time. He did his time. But the whole time he just talked about how bad he was doing himself. I sat in the back with the other comedian. It was a black comic. I don't remember his name. And I cried laughing, but I couldn't breathe. I thought I was literally going to have a heart attack because I
know, because the further somebody goes into the toilet,
the funnier it gets. Yeah, and he did it. I got to say, I gave that guy credit, man. He really, really pulled it off that night, even though he wasn't hitting it. By the way, Jackie, I want to bring up also. I had a couple of questions I want to ask you. I think people will be relevant. But while I'm doing this, everyone's is hitting us up with jokes. For instance, Brian over here with Brody Hackett and Darcy Novick. Blondie is out there. Darcy's out and saying hi to everybody.
Oh, hi, Darcy. Long time no see.
And speaking of bombs, this is Brian K. What is a Muslim's favorite cable channel?
Oh, God. TNT.
TNT.
That's
Okay.
you know about the little Muslim kid that got separated from his mother in the supermarket?
No.
He goes up to the manager. He says, I can't find my mother. And the manager says, what's she look like? He says, I have no idea.
There was a joke like that, too, where it was one Muslim guy talking to another Muslim guy and going, that woman is hot. And he goes, how do you know? He goes, look at her one eyebrow. Here's something else. The other day, my wife asked me to pass her lipstick, but I actually passed her glue stick. She isn't talking to me. There you go, Lois. There you go.
That's very good. That's very good.
And Kevin O'Connor. What did the Jewish father kid say to his son when he asked for $30?
$20. What do you need $10 for? You know what? I got something that I wonder if I could find it to send to you. There was a place around the corner from, I live in the Symphony House, 56 and 8th. I haven't been there in months. And around the corner was this incredible place called Morel's Pizza that has since then moved down to just down the block a bit because they bought it and put in a Starbucks. But they were moving out of there. So I was in there like the last day or one of the last days it was open. There was this fat little Italian guy sitting there. And I said, who are you? He said, this is my place. And he came over 30 years ago. And now he's got like 5 Morel's pizzas and whatever.
Wow.
And of all the things, it came up, what do you do? And it came up that I'm a comedian. He says, and it was, well, still, I love these guys. Been in America 30 years. It still sounds like he just got off the boat that day, right?
Oh, I know.
And he goes, I got a joke. I'll tell you a joke. And he told that joke, but it went 2 extra times. I got to send it to you. I got him in my phone. I said, you got to let me tape you saying it. He goes, the kid says to his grandfather, give me $50. He's, well, $40. You don't need $30. I'll give you $20. You take $10. You give me the change. It went on 2 or 3 extra times. I was like, whoa, what a fucking riot. He was hysterical.
I saw you rewrote
That's one of the all-time great jokes. One of the all-time great jokes. $50, $40.
Great joke. I just saw that you sent the joke. I don't know if you sent it to me or everyone else. There was one joke that was a joke and you rewrote it into a better way. I remember looking at it. It was great. So there's Jeff Norris, comic Jeff Norris. Loves the Muslim joke. Peasy, call me when you can. Jackie, hope to see you soon. Jeff's
Hi, Jeff. How are you?
Great comedian. Here's another guy. There's another guy brought up a joke in the notes here. What's the worst part of blowing Willie Nelson?
When he says, I'm not really Willie Nelson. Oh, that's so great. That's so great.
It's too easy for him, Kevin. Too easy for him. I wanted to ask you something too that was interesting. I was thinking about this the other day.
You know that I trade jokes with Willie on email, right?
I
back
do.
and forth all the time. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
I can't remember if I've had the nerve to ask him if I'm. Of course, he knows that joke. I'm sure Waylon Jennings hit him with it the second. I wouldn't be surprised if Waylon Jennings made it up.
I know that's
Got,
the thing about jokes, though. They're all like the same components moved around on some level. People don't get it. But I love jokes that always start in one way and go to different directions. Sometimes when they're clean in the front and dirty at the end, or dirty in the front and dirty, clean at the end. It's nice to see the flow of things and twist them around a little bit.
It's always interesting. Always interesting. Now, we talked about Nevertheless, right?
Yes, we did last week. It was very
Well,
funny.
I finally looked, and Alec Baldwin's book is called Nevertheless.
It is.
And the reason it's called that is because somebody told him that joke in like 2000 on a film set, and the guy was a British guy, and he told a British version of it, but there's so many versions of it, it's hysterical. So I really want to sit and talk to Alec about it, because it's a famous joke, and it's just so funny.
Jackie,
but the problem with that joke is just like the Aristocrats. The trouble is that people refer to the joke by the punchline, which is just
It's crazy to think about. But you've been doing this so many years, stand-up comedy and doing jokes. I mean, you're the guy. You take, and I said this to you before. You're the guy who takes something that anyone can get and sell it. It's like water and air. You're selling something. It's amazing. In all the time that you've been doing this, though, tell us, what do you think has been your greatest success, and what has been your worst failure in this game of comedy? What do you think? In this whole game?
My greatest success by far is that all I ever wanted was to have a house on the water in Bayville. Mm-hmm. And I have a house on the water in Bayville. So that's my greatest success. Whether I'll be here next week or whether I get tossed out of my ear, I'll never know. Right. I never had a plan. It was like one foot in front of the other. I never set out to be on the radio. The only reason I started playing guitar was try and get laid, and I only kept playing in a band because I didn't want to get a job after I graduated. And the only reason I went into comedy is because I sucked at music. And the only reason I went on the Stern Show is because I sent my albums to him, because I sent them to everybody, and they invited me on, and and the magic happened. And but as far as failure, I mean, I guess my failures, I never did Carson or anything. I beat myself up that I never had a sitcom and never did Carson or anything. But then I said, Jackie, you spent fucking 18 years on a radio show. You got to cut yourself. You got to cut yourself a little bit of a break. It's not like I was sitting around with my feet up, But it wasn't my show. But whether it was your show or not, you had to be all in.
Yeah.
Just because Howard was making all the money and he was the head guy, we were all there 24/7, and they still are. But I don't know if failures are as big a deal as mistakes I've made. I mean,
well, we've all made mistakes, but when I say failure, I mean like in this business that when we look back, sometimes we always think about, I wish I would have put more direction here or put more direction over there. As a comic, we do beat ourselves up, but what about? I mean, they're not failures. The things that you learn from.
I guess I wish I had. I don't know if it's failure, but I wish I had really gone at the acting thing to see whether
really
anything could happen, because I didn't do it. I didn't dive in really hard because I was done with the radio, and I had money. I had money, and I
yeah, but you were also tapped out. You were tapped out. You working that mornings, you're working the weekends. You're working 7 days a week, not sleeping. It's that's the one thing you lose is sleep when you're doing all that kind of work.
And which makes everything crazy. But as far as personally, my biggest, most horrible thing in my life is not having children, and that only hurts like 99.9% of the time, but the rest of the time I'm free floating.
You. But I hear you. Jackie, that you're getting from Robert Dahl is I said, Jackie, tell the joke about the nun in the backseat of the cab. That's a great joke.
My favorite joke. So cab driver picks up a nun, and he looks in the rearview mirror and says, sister, I always fantasize about being with a nun. She says, yeah, you and everybody else. Are you Catholic? He says, yes, I am. She says, pull over. He pulls over. She gets in the front seat and gives him the best blowjob he's ever had.
Right.
He feels a little guilty. He says, sister, I got to tell you something. I'm not really Catholic. She says, yeah, my name's Ralph. I'm on my way to a costume party. Now, not only that, I tell that joke on the radio.
It's clean.
I tell that joke on the radio. She gets in the front seat, slides over, and gives him a big sloppy French kiss, which is damn near as offensive.
Exactly.
You know, he's making out with a nun. She's blowing him. He's making out. It's still
nasty.
over the top.
It's still nasty. Jeff just said to Jackie and Marley, and Otto and George were his inspirations when he was a longshoreman listening to you back in the day.
Oh, I had so much fun with Otto. Did you ever? You know, he had a talk show.
No.
Otto and George.
Oh, wait a minute.
He had a talk show. I did it a couple times, and it was nothing more weird or uncomfortable because Otto and George were Johnny Carson. And you sit there, and George, for you people who don't know, Otto was a ventriloquist, and his dummy was George. And George would interview you. So
wow,
if you talk to him, you're talking to a dummy.
Right.
But if you talk to Otto, that's not the guy. So there was nothing to do except sit there and look like an asshole and enjoy yourself. Me and Otto had a very, very strong bond because from 1979, from way back, we were the guys that couldn't get booked because we were too dirty. There were so many gigs we couldn't do because we were too dirty. And we might have been the only two guys that were too dirty, you know.
And Tom said Otto's show was called The Pig Roast. That was what it was. That was
that was the name of the yes.
Towards the end of his life, as a matter of fact. I worked with Otto many times too, and he was a great guy, and he also had like a lot of he loved history, he loved old movies, he loved all the old stuff, quotes, and he was like a genius when it came to all the old time stuff.
So much, you know. Me and him were in a movie in 1990.
In Manhattan, you taped it at the Comedy Club?
No, at the Cherry Lane Theater in on Cherry Lane, the something theater,
right?
And it was Tim Allen, Bill Hicks, Chris Rock.
Oh no, you're talking about the Dirty Dozen.
The comedy's Dirtiest Dozen.
You know, when I had COVID a couple months ago, when I had that COVID, I watched that thing several times.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
John Fox.
You closed that. John Fox opened, and you closed that show.
It was Do you know the story of that? I went on 36th. Did I tell you that story?
I think you mentioned that. You said that there was like a ton of people. To me, it's like there was 6 comics, and the crowd.
No, what happened? What happened was Mike Egan would get the crowd to calm down and face the stage, and he would introduce Ben Creed.
Mike Egan was the MC of that?
No, he was the warm-up guy who would get the crowd ready, and they'd bring up Ben Creed, and they'd start the 7-minute canister, and Ben Creed would introduce a comic. The comic would do his 7 minutes, and then when he was done, they had to restock all the cameras with another 7-minute tape. So when they were done, they're ready to go again. Mike Egan went up and said, all right, here we go. Here's our next comic. Here's Ben. Ben, come up. The cameras would start. He introduced, comedian number 2. So it was Egan, Ben, comic 1. Egan, Ben, and then it was Egan, Ben, Jackie Martling. I was the 36th person to take the stage. And it was
God,
it was so late, and it was so much fun, and it was so crazy and so bonding, and it was really, really fun. Now,
wow. But how does like 36 comedian, like the crowd must be burnt out after 4 or 5? Like how did
they weren't even that good to begin with, and it's not like it was packed. It was a little sporadic. Nobody. It was kind of a crapshoot what was going on. I haven't watched that in so long. I don't even know if there were crowd shots, but there was a little bit of interstitial stuff that was shot, and it was really fun. And at the very end, I tell John Fox a very, very, very dirty joke, and he he's sitting on the top of a theater seat, and he leans way back, and us roaring laughing fades off in the reverb. And that's the end of the movie. And I was always just so proud of that. But the reason I brought it up is that I gave Otto a line.
Oh, yeah?
That he put in his act. And the first time he used it was in that movie. He said, George, how's your dating? I was with such a fat one, this fat fucking broad. She was so fucking fat that after I fucked her, she spread her legs and a Greyhound bus came out of a
Oh
cut.
my! He was using that line for the last 20 years.
No, that was his line.
Oh, that was
And
his line.
I said, say yeah. And the bus driver had a clothespin on his nose, which gave it an extra kapow, you know.
Boom. I watched that show recently. It's still on, like it's being played now. It's still on. I mean, I think it was on. It must have been Netflix. I think it was on. It's on there. You can pull it up. It's really fun to watch. And my friend Tom just mentioned too that on that show was also one of my favorite comics. Robert Schimmel was on that show, wasn't he?
No, he wasn't on that. He was on the one I did with Dice called Red Fox's Dirty, Dirty Jokes.
He was one of my, as a comedian looking at other comedians, he was one of my favorite comics. Schimmel was a brilliant guy that was able to take dick jokes and recreate them in a very clean, beautifully written way.
But they stayed pretty foul. He was great. So we did the Dirty, Dirty Jokes in 1985, so I knew him for decades and decades. I really liked that guy.
That brings up a good question, Jackie. Who, did you look at and laugh at as comedians? Who did you really like?
I laughed when somebody told me a joke that I thought was really funny. I got no sense of humor. To me, the best new comedian is Chris Rock.
He's
great.
You know
what I mean? No, but I'm saying Chris Rock's been around 40 years. To me, he's a new guy. I laughed at Rodney and laugh at Rodney every time. But I got weird. Like I was sitting last night watching this old, horrible, the very early Burns and Allen, not even the 1957, 58. I'm talking about 53, 54, when it was so old and the jokes are so fucking lame. And I'm roaring out loud. And Barbara's like, you never laugh. I'm like, but when it gets me, it gets me, But I loved Rodney and I, of course, loved Red Fox. But I'm listening to Red Fox not to laugh as much as I am to steal the jokes,
He did a lot of great jokes. Yeah.
One of the great things that ever happened to me, there were a couple of little old lady jokes that I really liked. And I said, you know what? They fit together perfectly. So I put the two jokes together like a medley.
Uh-huh.
Then I'm listening to an old Red Fox album and he had the same two jokes together as a medley. And I was like, I'm in the right ballpark. You know what I mean? Like it was a stupid, like Helen Keller would have put those two jokes together, but it still was fun,
People don't realize though how the math goes in jokes, that the way they're put together. People don't realize that there's an actual I guess if you will a components that you move around. And so it's almost like what we're doing in technology, almost in a sense that the way you take code and recreate something and put something over it and lay another one on top of it. I don't think people get.
Well, you know what it is? A joke has to fit together just right. And then it's funny and it's seamless and you don't notice it, but you notice it if it's wrong.
That's immediate.
Like if somebody leaves something out or they stumble over this or forget to say that, it's amazing how easy it is to fuck up a joke. And when you get it right, it sounds like there's nothing to it.
We had a few people here tonight show us how that works. Right? Stoic,
man.
Charlie Fisher.
Shirley Fisher. I actually wrote a couple of articles for magazines. In fact, one of the chapters that didn't make it into my book was how to tell a joke. You know what I just found out? And I bet you knew this because not a lot of people, but a bunch of people said, when are you going to put out the sequel to your book? And I'm like, listen, they couldn't be less interested. They really, they could not be less interested. And it's not that it's not selling. It's just they don't want to do another one. But I found out that you could just put a book on Kindle. Yeah. And if you want to sell it, you sell it, and they take a big chunk of it. But who cares?
Makes your life easy.
Right. Because my second book, what happened is, I wrote my whole life, and I had to pick and choose what chapters to use and what ones. And it was like Sophie's Choice because it's like one of those things where it's either all good or it all sucks, depending on what day you read it. But now I got a place to put that up.
Up on Kindle, I should put that in the link. Arlene is asking Jackie, did you like Myron Cohen?
Well, of course, because these are all jokes, old, great, Myron Cohen and Henny. The thing about Henny Youngman, and same as Myron Cohen's jokes were longer and story jokes, where Henny's were much quicker, but they were the same, they're family jokes. They're like Jewish couple jokes, but a couple joke is a couple joke is a couple joke, you know? And
But what do you? I ask you. I don't be repetitive when I say this, but I actually think about it again and again. What guys did you really like look at and say, inspired you as a comedian? Because I have I love David Tell, I love Chris Rock. There's certain people there's certain people I really love as comedians, and they really make me laugh because I like their perspective on things. Who inspired you as you were coming up doing this?
Nobody, because
Really?
I'm not a comedian. I was never a comedian. Like I bought Robert Klein's album. We bought it and listened to it because we used to tell jokes in our act. But we're in a band. But we bought Robert Klein, and I listened to George Carlin, and I always laughed when Rodney was on TV and laughed at Henny Youngman. But I wasn't snotty about it. I had no aspirations, no intention of ever becoming a comedian. Like, it was just by default.
It's amazing.
I had no band, and all I had was my dick jokes. It wasn't like, let me write an act. I mean, I wound up writing somewhat of an act to put together to pull my jokes on stage. But I wound up saying, fuck this, because to me, the jokes are what's funny. And, sometimes I can watch somebody all day, and I'm not good. Not that I don't think people are fucking amazing. Like, I can sit there and watch David Tell with my jaw drops. He's so fucking funny, or Artie, all these guys. I love it as the art form and how funny it is. But I never looked and said, oh, I want to be Robert Klein, or I want to be Bill Cosby. I knew it'd be really nice to be famous and be nice to have money. But God, if I went into a bar and there's like 8 guys standing there and I blew them away for 20 minutes with my jokes, I was in fucking heaven.
Simply, yeah. It's giving is taking is getting back at the same time.
Did I ever tell you about my interaction with the band?
You said you were in a band before.
No, the drummer from the band, the band.
No.
Bob Dylan's band.
No. I never told me that.
Who's the drummer? God,
I can look it up. Bob Dylan's drummer.
Leon. God, how could I not know?
That's hey, I can't remember everything. Bob Little Bob.
No, but he's the guy who sang, The Weight. Put the loan on, and he wound up being a friend. And somebody invited us to go, and me and my girlfriend went up to. God, I can't believe I got a mental block.
It was a long time. It was a long time ago.
But no, it wasn't that long ago. It was like 15 years ago, and he
had
a
long time ago. I remember 15 days ago.
He had a thing literally in a garage in a barn, and bands would play in the barn, and he'd have other bands, and.
Winston Watson?
No. Leon.
Levon Hell.
Levon Hell.
Guess who got that? Daniel Miller, the guy who doesn't know any jokes.
Fucking Levon is so great. And the other acts he'd have with him were so good. And you go up there and sit in this garage. And when the band got done, you walked over and they had like cupcakes and food and sandwiches. And people went out and smoked pot. And then came in for the bands he had with him was so good that if he hadn't have gone on, it still would have been worth the drive to Woodstock. And then he goes on, and like when we showed up there, he had us in the front right seat. I literally could reach out and touch his cymbal.
Wow.
And it was so fucking good. And when they're done, the producer, the woman comes over and says, Jackie, come on, Levon wants you to come back. So me and my girlfriend walked back through the catacombs. Next thing I know, we're sitting at a big round table with Bob Dylan's guitar player, whatever his name is, that wears all black. And I'm sitting next to Levon, and he's got a big pile of pot, and he's rolling pot. And it's the other bands, there's like maybe 10 or 12 musicians who are the best possible comedy audience. And they just got done bringing the house down and entertaining. So they don't need any spotlight. They just want to laugh. And I pulled out some homegrown. And so I'm sitting next to Levon, and we're smoking pot. And I'm telling you, John, I blew them out of their fucking seats for 20 minutes. I had those people out of their minds. And all of a sudden, I said, come on, Suzanne. And I stood up. And he said, well, where the hell are you going? I said, I can't follow myself. I could never be as funny as I've been for the last 20 minutes. I'm getting the fucking out of Dodge while the getting's good. And I left, and it was so funny. And he called twice. I got the message on me, Jack, and this is Levon. Thanks for coming last night. God damn, that was the greatest thing. I'm never gonna forget you. It almost sounds like a guy like making fun of a Southern guy. You know?
Right, almost, right.
Oh, it was
But
just
people-
spectacular.
it
Just
sounds like-
spectacular.
I don't think people understand the power of humor and comedy. I mean, I love it. I live it. I think about it all the time. I research it. I change things around. So I don't think people realize how powerful what humor is. It's really, besides all the healing effects and all the good things in your body, just seeing the opportunity to have a laugh.
And it's a connector. And that's why jokes are so good, because you can sit around, the funniest people in the world could sit there, and if there's 8 people, you know, what am I going to do? Say to Larry, the guitar player, hey, lead me into one of my routines. You know, that's not how it works. With jokes, you just pow, 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 and you hit them. You know, if they heard 2 of them, they haven't heard the 3rd one. You know, and that's why I get along with Willie and all these guys, because it's no miss, and you laugh just as hard the next time. You know, it's a whole bonding thing. It's a bonding thing.
I'm amazed that you weren't inspired by somebody, because the way you just said you were led. It's like
I love Rodney, but I was already a joke teller, you know. I loved Henny Youngman telling jokes, and
Henny's the greatest.
I love guys that told jokes on TV. But I used to love Carol Burnett, and I used to love Red Skelton. I was inspired by Red Skelton because he enjoyed himself so fucking much on stage.
Enjoying
and
his
he
life.
left. You know, I went to the Florida comic strip one year. It was so long ago, they actually had a television in the condo, which is unheard of in comedy land. A phone or a television, because the comics destroy everything like fucking cockroaches. But there was a TV, and I was there with Bill McCarty and a couple other guys. And on HBO, it was either Red Skelton's 75th birthday or Red Skelton's 50th year in show business, but it was an HBO special. And it's just a microphone there, and he came out and just started telling jokes in a microphone, and he's swinging his arms and laughing at himself. And the comics looked at me and they said, "It's fucking you, Martling. That is you."
Having a good
time. You know what? I watched the guy every Tuesday night for years. You know, like just enjoying himself. But who would I never looked and said, God, maybe I could be Johnny Carson, or maybe I could be, you know, Milton DeLugg or something. You know, who knew? Who knew?
But when you look back at the past, and this is something I've been thinking about too a lot. Like today, the comedy's changed today. First of all, I mean, I still listen to, like you said, Henny. I love Henny Youngman. I was thinking about his joke the other day, Schwartz, and Schwartz. It's just the silliest thing in the world, and it's just it's so him, and everything has that little kind of punch to it, and he had a lot of cleverness to his stuff. It was very short and tight and clever. But when you look at that, look at the way comedy was then, and look at the way comedy is now. Do you think that comedy today has somehow crossed the line and gone to a level where it becomes so dirty it's not funny?
You know what? Nothing. I tell people, the jokes are cockroaches. We can come, we can go, we can die, we can COVID, we can nuclear war. And when all's said and done, man will walk out of the sea and there will be jokes. The same jokes will find themselves. They just are. You know, when people are arguing about jokes and who wrote this or blah, 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 I said, listen, man has been around, depending on what you believe, for eons, millions and millions of years. And if you think that you can come up with something funny about fucking, sucking, shit, piss, vomit, anything,
somebody's done
that
it.
Somebody else hasn't come up with from the time of Adam and Eve till now, what kind of egotistical fucking crazy? It has all been said. It has all been done. It's all been recycled in every different way. You know, man has been laughing at each other. You know, it's the first time a rock fell on a caveman's head and his wife laughed because you just laugh out of nervousness or whatever. I mean, it's a whole
Right.
funny study. You know, it's funny. When you're a little kid,
Right.
This is for me. You grow into Henny Youngman's jokes. Like, Henny Youngman's jokes are funny, but the older you get, once you've been in relationships and get married the jokes get funnier and funnier, and I've actually lived a couple of them.
Me
And
too.
I actually called somebody from a car phone, and they said, "What are you doing?" And I actually said, "I just came. I'm coming home from a pleasure trip. I just took my wife to the airport."
Right. That's a
But
Henny.
but I really had,
For
and
real.
I really was. It was like so funny. Like it's just crazy. Just crazy.
And that's a classic Henny joke, by the way. That is a classic Henny.
Oh yeah. Oh, of course it is. Of course it is.
I love the old, you know what I really got into too was the Jewish humor. I love the Jewish humor. And you don't really like, I don't think everyone gets it, but I get it. But a lot
But
of
it's got nothing to do with Jewish as much as it has to do with kvetching because you're older and because you're married, and to make it Jewish is funny, but just like it doesn't. It doesn't. It can just like with the nun. It doesn't have to be a blowjob. It can be a French kiss. You say.
though,
And I like Polish jokes. You say a Polish guy did this. A Polish guy did that. You just say a guy did this, and obviously it's just a guy doing something stupid. And when you say Polish, it's like you're setting them up to do something stupid, but it's not necessary.
I did this great joke, and I don't know, it was a Yiddish comic that did it, and I actually did a gig last night, believe it or not, and physically I did a gig last night. I won't say where or what, but I did a gig last night, and it was, I did this joke, and they got a big laugh. But you see, I don't think these general people would understand the joke anyway. But so there's a Jewish woman, let's say, like in Borough Park, she's walking around, and she goes to a gentleman. She goes, "Excuse me, do you speak Yiddish?" She goes, "No." She goes and pulls another guy. "Excuse me, do you speak Yiddish?" "No." She goes, "No, do you speak Yiddish?" And he goes, "Yes." She goes, "Great. What time is it?" It's silly.
Adam Leslie, you didn't know him, I'm sure.
No, I
Adam
didn't, no.
Leslie could speak 40 dialects, and they were all Yiddish. And God, he would me and Bob Nelson spent a couple of weeks with him, and he buried us with the stupidest jokes. It like, what's a nice Jewish fruit that starts with N?
A nice neighbor?
A nice Jewish fruit that starts with N. An apple.
An apple. Oh, very
What's
funny.
a nice gambling city in New Jersey that starts with T? Atlantic City.
Okay.
Oh, God. You know what joke I recently was telling? I think I told you, where the guy says, Doc, you got to help me. I swallowed a sponge. You swallowed a sponge? I swallowed a sponge. How are you feeling? Tasty. Always tasty. Which is so innocent.
I love it.
It's so funny.
I love it. You know who does this kind of humor? Uncle Floyd does a lot of that kind of stuff. It's
right.
1-2 punch old kind of humor, and I don't know if I should call it old, but to me, that humor to me is shticky. It makes you laugh, no matter you're young or old, or it's universal.
Goofy. It's like Burns and Allen. The frustrations of a guy laughing because his wife says something stupid, or the wife laughing because the husband says. We all say something stupid, and it's always funny, and there's always tension. Because if you're laughing at somebody and then you got to turn around and make them dinner, or you got to turn around and go to bed with them,
Yeah, exactly.
It's just hysterical,
Totally. Well, Jackie, we got to end this off with some good jokes. But first, here is the stoic Shirley Fisher.
Shirley Fisher.
He's hanging. Hey, Charlie, do you have any good jokes for us?
No, not yet. I'm working on them.
He's working on it. How could you not love Charlie Fisher? And
John, did I tell you about the guy who's reading the article about how many words people use? Did I tell you that?
No.
He says to his wife, I'm reading here that on an average day, a man speaks 15,000 words. An average day, a woman speaks 30,000 words. She says, yeah, well, the only reason we say much more words than you is because we always have to repeat ourselves. And he says, what? Which is
I like it.
Classically gentle.
I don't know if did I tell you that one about, you must know it also, the one about the guy, Jeffrey, who dies and goes, and his wife tries to go to the medium. Did I tell you that? I don't even remember. You must know it.
No, don't go through that whole rigmarole. Just tell your joke.
He dies, and his wife Jody's been married like 40 years, and his wife becomes like really distraught, and she goes to have a seance, and she finally gets in front of the lady with the ball, and she says, hello, and Jeffrey, is that you? And he goes, yes. And she says, tell me, are you happy? She asks, and he goes, oh yes, very happy indeed. And she says, are you happier now, than when I was with me when we were alive? And he goes, yes, very super happy. She goes, wow, heaven must be a wonderful place. And he goes, who said I'm in heaven?
There you go.
That's a great, like, old Vicky kind of thing. I love that joke.
It was in one of my joke books. The name I used in the joke was Uncle Floyd.
Oh, yeah?
And this guy has an Uncle Floyd, and he says, Uncle Floyd, listen, you're probably going to die before me. Do me a favor. When you get to heaven, contact me. I want to know what it's like. And Uncle Floyd dies. And one day, the kid's mowing the lawn, and all of a sudden he hears, Harry. He goes, Uncle Floyd? Uncle Floyd? Harry. Uncle Floyd, is that you? Yes, Harry, it's me. Your Uncle Floyd. Tell me what it's like. Tell me what it's like, Uncle Floyd. Tell me what it's like. He says, well, we wake up in the morning and we fuck. And then we eat a little bit and then we fuck some more. And then we eat a little bit and then we fuck some more and then we take a nap. And then we fuck some more and fuck some more. And then we have some more to eat. And we fuck some more and fuck some more and then go to sleep so we can wake up in the morning and start all over again. He said, oh my God, Uncle Floyd, heaven sounds great. Heaven? I'm a jackrabbit in Wyoming.
I never heard it. It's a great joke. I never heard that joke.
I'm a jackrabbit in Wyoming.
On that note, we gotta go. We're so far over here, Jackie. We're like way.
I'm leaving you with one filthy joke.
I'm ready.
Guys walk along a cliff, and there's a girl standing there. And he says, what are you doing? She says, I'm going to jump off and kill myself. He says, well, as long as you're going to kill yourself anyway, how about you let me fuck you? She says, you're an asshole. He says, all right, I'll just meet you at the bottom.
I'll wait till you're dead. That's like that great joke. You used to tell the great joke about the guys on a desert island with the girl. That's a great joke.
There's 100 of them.
Oh no, the one where they're embarrassed. They're embarrassed. I think it's two guys.
Just tell a joke.
I don't know. I don't know on the top of my head. Is it two guys and a girl on a desert island? Is that the one? And she dies. Is that what? I don't know.
Three guys and a girl marooned on a desert island. After 1 week, she's so ashamed of what she's doing, she kills herself.
Right.
And after another week, the guys are so ashamed of what they're doing, they bury her. And then after another week, they're so ashamed of what they're doing, they dig her up again. That's the greatest.
I love that joke. It's a great joke. That's the way to end. We did an hour and a half here. We've helped all these people all this time. We thank you guys for sticking around.
Listen, everybody, please, if you're enjoying us at all, email me, jokeland@aol.com, so we can get some feedback, because we want to do what you guys want us to do. If you want me or us to shut the fuck up, tell us. If you like the stories, let us know. Jokeland@aol.com. JOKELAND at AOL.com. Right, JP? And
bingo.
And do you give yours out?
No, I'm johnbeasy.com. Everyone, I think they all know me because this is going to my Facebook page. So I'm putting it right there. And also you can reach you, Jackie, if they want to do a special little promo that you'll send to them on a video from cameo.com.
I don't know if it's from this, but I've been getting a lot of them.
I know it's
3,
from
4 days. And it's so much fun.
It's so much fun. And with that, we'll see you next Monday at 8.
See you later, alligator.
Thanks so much, Jackie. You have a great week. Take some sun. Don't get the COVID. Always clowning around.
Always clowning.